Ridsdale. I am a registered acupuncturist and Chinese medicine herbalist in Cambridge, Ontario, in each side of Canada. Today, I'd like to talk about mental illness and Chinese medicine. How Chinese medicine can help for the mental illnesses. So, I decided to make this presentation because Chinese medicine can help mental illnesses, which is not very well known. I don't think many people realizing that. But the more than that, it's because the mental illnesses are epidemic in Canada. By age of 40, 50% of people experiences different degree, different severity of mental illnesses. 20% of all the deaths among the age 15 to 24 years old are the suicide. I got this number from Mental Health Association, Canadian Mental Health Association. And then the Canadian government says that the anxiety and mood disorders are in more than 11% of entire population of Canada, and I think it's way more than that. I think this is 11% that they know of. So those are the ones who went to see a doctor and to seek help. But a lot of people won't go see their doctors to get help for their mental illnesses. So I truly think it's more than 11%. But this is huge. So I'd like to make a small presentation to give more options about how we can help mental illnesses. So there are different scope of practices and then different views among different modalities. The one that the most common is, I think, psychiatry. Go and see your psychiatrist. If you go see a doctor, family doctor about the mental illnesses, I think most likely you will be referred to a psychiatrist. So in psychiatry, they see depression or anxiety or different mental illnesses as an dysfunction or lack of function of certain chemicals, like neurotransmitters, such as serotonin or dopamine. Another common therapy will be psychotherapy. Psychotherapists, they don't use drugs, but they use certain scientifically proven techniques to do some intervention or talk therapy to clinically help their patients. Counselors are slightly different. I think a lot of the psychotherapists will do counseling, but the counseling they can teach people how to cope with the certain situations and stuff like that. I think counseling is maybe the easiest one for people to go. I went to see counselors when I was in my undergrad, and then here and there in my life I went to see counselors for different reasons. So I'd like to talk about today how Chinese medicine can help mental illnesses. Like I talked about in different video about how Chinese medicine works. Chinese medicine is a holistic medicine, so we see body, mind, and spirit as a one whole entity. So the issue of the mind or the issue of the spirit and then the issue of the body is connected. We can't talk about, so in Chinese medicine, we don't talk about the mental illnesses without talking about your body wellness. Usually, for what I've seen in my clinic, digestive issues are closely related to mental illnesses. So often I treat the mental illness as a mental illness. However, I also at the same time will most definitely try to find the imbalance of the stomach or intestines. So that's how Chinese medicine usually treat mental illnesses. So I'm gonna so here different breakdown of different types of the mental illnesses that I treat often here, and then the possibility of Chinese medicines in terms of treating mental illnesses are endless, I believe. But these are the ones that I mainly treat. I'll often see in my clinic. So first, anxiety and panic attacks. Also, too much worry, like worrying a lot, that extend into the severity of the anxiety. I see this quite often. So Chinese medicine itself have a different styles and lineages, and then the one that I base my treatment is a classical Chinese medicine. So this may be different from your local Chinese medicine practitioners. So yeah, but anyway, so I see, or my lineage of the Chinese medicine sees that anxiety and panic attacks as comes from imbalance in the stomach or the digestion. So when you have a poor digestion and you have undigested substances in your stomach, what we call dampness, pathogenic dampness, with certain triggers from exterior, and these triggers can be being outside or being in any external factors. Often that the healthy reaction of the body is to generate this healing energy, anti-pathogenic qi, or what we call gen qi, to the upper area of the body, and then to release the pathogens out from the promoting slight sweating. If you have undigested substances or dampness in your stomach, when the body causes this upward motion, which is healthy reaction of the body, but it takes this dampness with it. So that this dampness instantly shoot up to the head and then fog the frontal cortex, the front of your brain. Frontal cortex is the one that in charge of the emotion or cognition. So when this the frontal cortex is fogged with dampness, it's like you're driving and then your windshield is instantly fogged out for whatever reason. You don't see what's coming, and then you feel uncertain about what's in the near future, and then that gives anxiety or panic attacks. So this is anxiety, panic attacks is often to treat it. I treat the dampness that got shot up to the head by using having a needles in your head. So there's a scalp acupuncture. And then my intention is to descend the fog down, and then I will also treat your stomach or digestive system, so that the dampness that's been existing in your system won't affect in the future. So for that, I will use acupuncture, and you do definitely need Chinese herbs for that. This is actually, if it's just a pure anxiety and then panic attacks, it may not take too long to treat it. Actually, I just treated this patient that I wrote the case report about it. She had the tendency of overthinking, but the anxiety got accentuated with pandemic. Anyway, it was debilitating, and then it was eating into her quality of the life. With 3 treatments, so three once a week, 3 treatments, so 2 weeks. She came another week. One week later, she came as a second visit, and then 1 week later, she came again, and then the 3 visit, and then with Chinese medicine, she found that her anxiety is like much better. Last time I talked to her, she even said that there's a few days in a week that she had no anxiety at all, and then now we're seeing every 2 weeks, and then ideally she wouldn't need treatments or Chinese herbs that often. I suggested her to maybe come see me monthly or once a season, which is standard. It's good to go see your acupuncturist seasonally, even though you're very healthy. It's just a good things to do. So that's for the anxiety. Depression and mood disorders, I put it in the same category, and you may say like, it's different things. I know it is different things, but for the sake of Chinese medicines, I put it in the same categories. There are different types, so different reason why it's happening, and then different reason, different pathological mechanism will need a different treatment protocol and different way to treat it. So I'm gonna explain each of it briefly. The first kind is I often see is a no motivation, no interest, no energy, hard to get out from the bed. It takes so much courage, and then so much. It takes so much to just even come out of the bed to start your day. I see this often. This is weakness in chi, weakness in the weakness of the chi, weakness in many areas of the body. So for this type of the patients, they need to have more chi to nourish the brain, to nourish the body. Where's the chi is where's the site of the treatments? I will go to the stomach, because the stomach is where the chi and blood is generated. And then for this type of the patients, often there's the generation of the chi and the blood is not happening as optimum as it could. So the site of the treatment is actually the stomach. Because this is the issue of you don't have what you need, definitely you need herbs. Acupuncture is great. But the Chinese herbs are definitely needed. Warm kind and sweet kind to nourish the stomach. And then when the stomach is nourished, then the brain will be nourished, and then the patient will have naturally will start having energy to do stuff, and then motivation or courage to get their day happening. Similar is the burnt out. Burnt out is also the you've done so much and nothing's left. Like, I don't have anything left in me to offer anything to the world. So burnt out. So again, burnt out is the state of the deficiency. You just used up all your juice, literally the juice, what we call the body fluid, but it's run out of the juice. So again, we will focus in nourishing, where the nourishing the stomach, again, because without the nourishing the stomach, the brain won't be nourished. But also burned out lifestyle changes is important. That the cause of the burning out, the things that burnt you out needs to be stopped. I have a few clients right now with this type of the mood disorders, and they are both PSW, so the personal support workers, caretakers at the senior home. High demand of their work, physically, mentally exhausting job with such a, unfortunately in Canada, they don't get paid too well. They should get paid like a lot more than what they are getting, because of the amount of the it requires so much physical and mental energy. So nurses are too, but I've seen a lot from the PSWs. Or single mom, or simply mothers who does everything, and then eventually they burn out. Think about the energy as in a bank account. If you use money, if you spend the money, you will put the money back, so you don't go overdrafted. Yeah, but if you use your energy, and if you don't recuperate, if you don't replenish your energy, you only keep using it, and then eventually overdraft it, and then nothing is happening. So burnt out, we need to, this person needs to stop spending it and then put more to it. Yeah, this will take time. More than the other kind. Overwhelmingness is similar. Overwhelmingness is to us, overwhelmingness or easy to get overwhelmed. I can't handle too many things at the same time. Like again, this is the state of the deficiency. The brain is maxed out. Brain is doesn't have a capability to deal with things, and at the point that sometimes people cannot deal with the mundane things, day-to-day things, like too much to cook, too much. It's too much. Overwhelmingness, or I can't think of many things at the same time. So again, this is the dried. I call that a dried brain. Brain is not nourished, similar to the burnt out, but this easily happens if you are not nourishing your stomach, or not resting, not having enough rest. Similar to the burnt out, but eventually your brain will be dried, and then you can't handle things too well. So these three is similar to the fragile too, but you need to put the juice back to the brain. So acupuncture is great, but if I do the acupuncture, maybe around the stomach to activate the digestion, so the stomach can start generating the chi and blood and then the body fluid to nourish the brain. Unlike anxiety, for the anxiety, I will directly put the needles in the head and then descend the unwanted actual substances descend down, so you will get the clarity in the head. But when you don't have what you need, when your brain is when the symptom is happening because your brain is lacking in the nutrition, then Chinese herb has to happen. There's a few good herbs to do that, but again, this often comes from the poor nourishing of the stomach. So often you need to nourish the stomach and nourish the brain at the same time. A fragile and an unstable, and also this comes also with the easy to cry. You can put that in here. Fragile and unstable, like the littlest things can set you off, and then you cry. Like some people like cry every day. Easy to cry. it is also imbalance in the brain. Yeah. This is also due to the brain is not being nourished enough. So it's say actually very similar treatment protocol here. This is actually a bad cycle. When you cry, you lose. So tears are your body fluid, and then you're having these symptoms because your brain is dry because you don't have enough body fluid in the brain. But if you cry, you further lose it. So it is actually really dangerous cycle here. Like I must stop the crying, and by calming the person down. And this is not by will. This can be done by the will of the person because this is a weak brain, big malnourished brain because you use too much, right? So so fragile, unstable. You need anchoring herbs such as the mineral like longu, which is the fossilized. I don't have a longu here, but it is longu. Yeah, so the longu here, like a fossilized mineral, or mouli, which is the oyster shell, or those anchoring heavy herbs to keep the emotion stable is needed. And at the same time, of course, not just anchoring. You do need to nourish the stomach to so the stomach can generate the chi and then blood and then nutrition for the brain. And then I keep saying that the stomach is important, which is interesting because you do find the major you do find that the production of the serotonin is in the stomach. So it is a different way of looking at the body. Like the psychiatrist see with more like actual neurotransmitter of a hormone or like an actual thing that causes it. Whereas we see just a simple nutrition to the brain, which comes from the stomach. Racing thoughts now not only it is a dry brain, there's a heat, like you can't stop thinking, so there's a dry heat in the brain now, so you can't just now racing thoughts, so we need to cool the temperature of the head using different herbs, maybe like shiga, which is a gypsum. So this is the shiga, this is the gypsum. Again, this is a mineral to cool the heat of the brain down. Or there's other herbs to cool it down. At the same time, because this is a dry heat, you need to juice this up. Again, like it comes from the juice comes from the stomach. So you would definitely need to nourish the stomach. This is the racing thoughts is racing thoughts often I didn't put the insomnia, but insomnia can happen with racing thoughts or with the too tired to sleep. That type of the insomnia is again that the brain is not nourished. So we do need to nourish the brain by nourishing the stomach. Yeah, racing thoughts. So there's too many things. So there's two kind of the racing thoughts. So one kind is the thinking about the one thing over and over and over. So that's overthink or OCD type. Obsessive thinking of the one thing or stuck thought. This is the cause is similar to actually anxiety. There's dampness again is a sticky substances. It traps your thought because it's sticky. So when for the same mechanism, when the dampness got shot up to the head, it can cause the overthinking and then OCD. But when there's a heat to go with, dampness and plus heat, there's a too much thinking, and then thinking is it changes. It's like a monkey mind. One of the women told me, like, as if she feels like she has 10 TV screen in her head, that she's like watching, or the freaking channels from one to another. There's so many little different thought goes through her head. So this is a similar. The racing thoughts and then overthinking is similar, but the racing thoughts has a heat in it. Overthinking is more like a dampness. So again, you need to descend the fog, the dampness down, and then treat the stomach. Agitation and can't relax is this is the type often they may say, like, I feel good if I can go to gym, or if I hit the gym I feel good, or if I'm doing stuff, like, I feel good but I can't sit still. And this type of the mental illness was actually really accentuated with lockdown, because the gym closed it, and then we couldn't go do stuff. Like, these people would probably like to socialize and do things, that when we couldn't do it, this type of the mental illness can get easily accentuated. This type is more like an overall imbalance of the body. Acupuncture is okay. But it's actually that the agitation and can't relax is the chi. The chi is stuck and then wants to move. That's why the movement helps. So actually, you do why it's agitated, because it's unrooted. Where's the root of the chi is, again, it's in the digestive system, the stomach and the intestine. So acupuncture is okay, but if you take Chinese herb, this is quicker to treat agitation and state of being not able to relax. Overthinking and racing thoughts, acupuncture is okay. Racing thoughts definitely need a Chinese herbs. Overthinking may be okay, different depending on the severity with acupuncture only. But again, if you take Chinese herbs, it's much quicker, because the dampness that the causing overthinking and OCD is come from the stomach. So treating the stomach is actually really important for this. But they do need acupuncture. I think acupuncture is important. Here, just the Chinese herb may be okay for a while, because acupuncture may make them even more tired. So for these types, I think acupuncture is more important. But again, Chinese herbs are important as well. Anger issue is anger itself have a different kinds, but the anger towards the self is more like a weakness. I see, like and then anger towards the world, it's everybody else's fault. It's world's fault. World sucks. Like, there's nothing good in the world. That type is different. The different passive mechanism. Anger towards self is more like closer to this type. You need to nourish. You need a nourishment. But the anger towards the world is a heat plus dampness. There's damp heat. It's stuck. That person is stuck in the thought, and now there's a heat, so it's kind of negative. So anger towards the world, anger towards like everybody else's fault, is you need to treat the dampness and actually treat the dampness and the heat at the same time. Definitely you need a Chinese herbs like a gardenia. Jitsu is really efficient for that. Another anger is the uncontrollable anger, explosion. You have to punch something to like there is the heat in like a pressure, like a volcano. There's anger that needs to be expressed. it comes here too, and then it can be towards anything, easily to explode. So for that type of the anger, the gypsum that I showed you earlier, that's very efficient. There are certain degrees of like actual personality comes into the equation, but a lot of time it is the comes from the imbalance of the stomach. When people ask me, what's wrong with me? Like, I don't want to be like this, but I can't control. I tend to think like they are will to, those patients have a will to not to be like that. Like they have, but they can't help it. That's, I think it's a symptoms comes from the stomach, digestive issues, or sometimes issues at the separation between here. The diaphragm down is weak, but the diaphragm up is like there's a stagnation of the chi. So often like mental illnesses that I see in my clinic is very it is a result of the imbalance in other areas. So I think it is very, and then there are sometimes like, you know, childhood trauma or PTSD comes into the conversation. That's not so back to the scope of the practice. I can't talk about the contents of your anger or depression. Well, I could, but there's nothing like I only can listen to. And sometimes it's important because the energy sometimes needs the outlet, the way to come out. So sometimes to let the emotion out, it is a therapeutic, but I can't give you any advice about how to cope with life or how to do stuff. Those are the job of the psychotherapist and then counselors. But definitely Chinese medicine can help for mental illnesses, because again, body, mind, and spirit is the one thing. When the body is in balance, easily your mind and spirit can be affected. And so I really hope that this will give you some new insights about the mental illnesses. And there's no shame about having the experiencing the symptoms. It's not about your will. It's not about the hope, or it's not about the how well you want to do things. Like, it's often simply the result of the imbalance from the body that are manifesting as in the mind and spirit. So I hope if you are feeling stress too, the excess stress is always comes into like any of this. If you are experiencing the any of the unwanted feeling or symptoms in your emotion and mental health, think about Chinese medicine as well. I think there's a good chance that we can make a positive result for your mental health. Thank you for listening. It was Yumi Ridsdale. Bye bye.